Hey everybody, welcome to a game of Tabletop Simulator here. I would normally be at work right now, but I came down with a bit of a gastro bug today. We won't put a new image in your head there, we'll just leave it where it is. So we're not really into a situation where we can record something for long periods of time. I need something I can kind of jump in and out of and kind of more of a easy, relaxed pace here. So that's why we're going to play a little Zombicide. This is the game by Guillotine Games and published by Cool Mini or Not. This is the official DLC version on Tabletop Simulator. There are a number of unofficial versions as well, of course. People who've scanned it in and all that. Please remember to support the makers of the games by actually buying a copy. And in this case, I mean, the base game here, the DLC for Tabletop Sim is only $10. It's $9.99, so you can't ask for a better price there. I mean, I think the boxed edition is actually about 60, maybe 50 or $60 because of the miniatures and stuff like that, the plastic minis and all that are included in it. But I said $10 and you get a copy of the game that you can play with and see if you like it or not. I have enjoyed it. It's been fun, and I've actually got the next expansion on order, which should be arriving soon. So I will probably download. I will probably will download. It's like I do with all the other things. I will probably will download the unofficial version of it, so I can use the expansions as I get them. But once again, won't use them until I actually get them. Please support your board game developers because they make such beautiful products. Some of these games are just works of art, and they need to eat too, you know. So here we're going to play Zombicide, and having given the little rant for the day, the do your duty part, I will now pop out into getting the game board and all set up, and we'll go through a quick explanation of that. Okay, we have the game overlay, Tabletop Simulator overlay laid back out here again. I don't know why it keeps coming up on that one. Probably because I'm using the F9 key, and that must come up, that paint must come up when you're using the F9 key. That's what I use to turn my recording on and off. As you see here, here's the game laid out and ready to go for you once it loads in. Got the game box. We have got a nice turn summary reference cards here, an infinite number of them, so you can grab them. Every player can have one. I usually keep mine laying right over here next to my character card so I can see what's going on. Right over here you have a frequently asked questions. It's really nice. I think there are 6 pages of them. You've got the mission selector in the middle. The game itself comes with 11 different missions in the rule book over here, which has also got a complete set state for 2. Complete copy of the rule book all set out and laid out and ready to go for you here. And it has these 11 missions in it. There are more missions online that you can download. There are even official missions online that you can download using the base set here. And of course, if you look around in the forums and stuff, people have come up with plenty other missions and variants and that sort of thing. You have a box of the miniatures here, the various zombie miniatures. Let's zoom on in. An infinite supply of everything from the abomination to the fatties to the runners to the walkers. Once again, as you notice a little emblem, there's infinite numbers of them, and that's something you have to remember on some of the bigger boards. It's not going to come into play in the one. We're going to just play the tutorial mission here. It should take probably about 20 or 30 minutes. It's not going to come into play on it because the mission is so short and the board is so small. But in larger boards, remember that the box itself only came with 40 Walker miniatures. Just 40 of those. There's 8 fatties, 1 abomination. I can't remember how many runners there are, but those are the numbers. You have to remember to kind of keep a count and make sure you don't go above that. Unless you want to. It'll make the game damn hard for you. But yeah, you're limited, supposed to be limited to 40 walkers. 8 fatties, 1 abomination. I'll have to throw up on the screen how many runners there are. Or actually, we can look in the rule book right over here because it gives you a list of the counters, doesn't it? 16 runners, so the most you can have is 16 runners. So yeah, you can have a buttload of zombies on board, and I think that's probably enough. Play with infinite zombies if you wish, but you better be a far more of a pro gamer than I am. Along with that, you have your character sheets here. You choose which one you want, set the states up for them. Just right click, go to set state, and for instance, if you want Phil's number 3, so set state to number Phil, and boom, there you have Phil's card. If you'd rather have Wanda, set state to number 7, which is Wanda, and you pull up Wanda. So that shows you there. Nice little technique there. You've got all your characters, your various equipment decks and all. Over here, you've got an infinite selection of map tiles, so you can set up all your own missions and stuff, or use them to set up missions that you download. You've got infinite amount of doors, exit cards, objective markers, various cars, dice. So yeah, it comes in really nice. And over here, along with the mission map, you have the Gizmotron 9000 to help you set the map up in a really quick and easy fashion. Okay, so we are going to take a look at this. Like I said, we are going to play the tutorial, which is 4+ survivors. It's a tutorial mission, so very easy, and it's going to take about 20 minutes to play. The flavor text says, "We were with some friends when the first siren began to wail, quickly followed by countless others. In less than an hour, everything changed. The television, the radio announced horrible news. We decided to take shelter at our neighbor's house, which was much safer. We just had to cross the street, but they were already there." Okay. In the rule book, the map sets are back here. The first pages of them are on set state 11. Here's the tutorial mission right here. You see what you got? That's how you set the maps up. You use counters 2B and 1B. 2B or 1B? That is the question. Well, you don't have to question it. You got both of them. So you set them up, but rather than dig them out of the box like we did the first time, just go here, right click, set state to number 2, which will be the tutorial, and boom, sets the map up for you. It's already locked. You can't grab it and slide it around, so there you are, and it looks just like it does here. These show you where you set up stuff, and that's where you use the Gizmotron. Come over here, set state to, let's see, tutorial is number 2, so set state to number 2. And look at there, you've got the markers on the map telling you where to set everything up at. So these right here tell you walkers, so you're going to throw 2 walkers on the map to start with. There's going to be one right here in this zone. There's going to be one right here in this zone. So there you are, you've got the 2 walkers. Nicely painted already, so you don't even have to worry about hauling out your paints and painting the miniatures. They are already painted for you. Isn't that nice? Okay, so you got that. Right here, these things show you where you need to pop down a couple of red doors. And the best thing about it is the way they've got it scripted. Grab a door, come over here and drop it in the area, and it snaps into place. Now, doors have 2 states. State 1 and State 2. State 1 is the way that they should all start out in, unless there's some special rules otherwise. And that's the door is shut and locked. You can't get through it, but neither can the zombies right now. And then once you find something that you can actually smash it with, make sure you're on the door when you're doing this. You go to set state and you smash the door down. See? So there you go. Nice. We need another door right up yonder. Let's throw that up there. That's going to lock into place. We need an objective marker. I'm going to grab one of these, drop it here. You see how they've got it nicely scripted, I suppose using Lua, because this does use the Lua language. It twists them and drops them into place for you. How nice is that? How easy is set up with that, you know? You can even set up some of the big missions like city blocks here. The city block was a hard mission with just about every counter and every tile in the game is set up that way. All right, So next up, we have to pick, as a beginning game, we have to pick four of the characters. And I'm going to do that now. I'm going to get their game sheet set up here, and I will be back to join you in just a moment. All right, folks, we've got the game set up and the pieces put down, and my current 4 favorite survivors down here. The number of survivors you play with depends on how many people you're playing. If you're playing solo, you use 4 of the 6 survivors. If you're playing with 4 players, each of you take 1 of the 4 survivors. If you're playing with any other number, you have anywhere from 5 to 6. It really means that the solo game and the 4-player game are probably the 2 hardest versions of the game, because you've got a maximum of 4 survivors out there. You don't have everybody's different skill sets. If you're playing with 2 people, each of you control 3, and if you're playing with 3 people, each of you control 2. And with 5 and 6 players, each of you controls 1. So the solo and the 4-player are the hardest versions of it from the number of survivors that you have. These are my particular 4 favorites right now, and we'll look at them right quick. Shows the different kind of skills, y'all. For instance, look down here at Phil. Phil here, you can imagine that he is his character is perhaps taken from a recent television series, I would say. As you see, his starting ability is he starts with a pistol, so that is always a nice advantage there. The pistol, you see this emblem right here, it means whenever you kill zombies with it, it causes noise, and noise is a factor in the game. The zombies are attracted to noise. They're attracted to seeing survivors, but noise is also a part of that as well. So this is a noisy weapon. It has a range of 0 to 1 zones, and the zones are these areas on the map. Each area is a zone. A room is a zone, this is a zone, this is a zone, this is a zone. And on the street, the area between crosswalks is a zone. So this is a zone, this is a zone, this is a zone, this is a zone, and so on. So the pistol, you can use it in the same zone you're in, or you can fire one zone range. It uses 1 die, so you roll 1 die. It hits on a 4 or higher, so it has a 50-50 chance of hitting, and it does 1 point of damage. These walkers, that's plenty to take out a walker. A walker only has 1 hit point. So it takes down walkers fine, it takes down runners. Runners only have 1 hit point. Fatties have 2 hit points. So you have to have a better weapon, something that does more damage. And an abomination has 3 hit points. And the only thing in the game that'll take out an abomination, weapon-wise, is a Molotov cocktail, which you have to concoct by finding a can of gasoline and a bottle. And that's the only thing in the base game, weapon-wise, that'll take out an abomination. That's not going to be an issue here in this game, because the abomination can't spawn here, because after all, we're just trying to leave our house and cross the street. That's all we're trying to do. So that's Phil. Oh, and this up here is the experience bar. As you get experience, the experience bar climbs, and it goes through the blue level, into the yellow level, into the orange level, and finally into red. And what that does is, as you get up, for instance, when you go to yellow level, once your character gets yellow, you get an extra action, because every character starts the game with 3 actions they can do in their turn. So it's nice to get to yellow, and every character gets an extra action as their second ability. But that also means when you're drawing the zombie cards, let's take a look at one of them. As you see here, if you're at blue level and you draw a zombie card, you get a 0. But if you're yellow level, you put down 2 runners on the board instead of nothing. So it's nice to level up, but it also means that you're making the game harder for yourself. So that's the other thing. The zombie cards depend on which line you read, depends on which is the highest character. So you can have everybody in here at 0 except for Phil, who's sitting at 7, and you're going to be using the yellow line. So you kind of try to want to level everybody up at the same time as close as possible, so they are all getting their extra skills at the same time. So on the larger maps, you kind of want to spread the experience out so that you don't have one guy that's doing everything and screwing the game up for all the noobs out here. So Phil starts with a pistol. Doug here has the thing called matching set is his ability. As you see, he's holding 2 Uzis here. If you look on some of these cards, like the pistol, you'll see the pistol has a little red circle with 2 pistols in it. That means that shows matching set. So if someone with the matching set skill, for instance Doug, if he searches a room and he finds a pistol, he actually gets 2 of them. He gets 1 for each hand. Phil doesn't, because Phil doesn't have matching set, but Doug would. So that's what that skill means for him. Up here we have Ned. Ned's special ability is one I really like. He gets a free search action, which means that he can search for free. He doesn't have to use up an action. The actions that you have, they're on here on the turn summary. You can moving from one room to another uses an action. Searching a room uses an action. Opening a door uses an action. Attacking uses an action. So basically, Ned gets to search for free and then use his other 3 actions for other things. He can't search twice because you can only search once per character per zone, per turn. So he can't search here and then move and search there and then move and search there. He only gets to search once per turn and once per zone. But it means that he gets a free one, and then he can do whatever he likes with his others. He can then attack with the others. And then Amy gets a free move. So no matter what she does, she can always like attack 3 times and then move a space if she wants to, for totally free. Or she could move 4 times. So that is her ability, and I like it right now. So as you see, Phil, I chose him because he starts with a pistol. Everybody else starts off with a frying pan. As you see, the frying pan is a 0 range. You have to be in the exact same square. It's a melee weapon, so you have to be in the same square with the zombie to use the frying pan. That's what the 0 means. It rolls a 1 dice, and you have to get a 6 on 1 dice in order to hit the zombie, and it does 1 point. So if you hit it, which is a 1 in 6 chance, it will kill the walkers. But the other thing here, remember this down here, it showed that the pistol is a noisy weapon and causes noise. The frying pans have a blue here with a line through it, blue ear with a line through it, which means these are silent weapons. They don't add to the noise. So the zombie, you kill a zombie with a frying pan, it's not going to add to the noise here and attract more zombies. So that is one good advantage of them, but we're going to be wanting to get rid of these as soon as possible as we find better weapons. The other thing with the tutorial mission here is that normally you would have your starting equipment consist of 3 frying pans, a pistol, a crowbar, and an axe. In the tutorial mission, they want you to learn how to search. So they just give you the 3 frying pans, and the pistol, the crowbar, and the axe are the first 3 cards on top of the equipment here. So you know you're going to get them first, but you do have to search for them. So that's how to teach you how to search and all. Phil, I took him because he automatically gets a pistol. So we've got somebody that's starting out with a nice weapon, and that doesn't use up the pistol that's as starting equipment. It is still here as your starting equipment. So we will be getting another pistol here. All right. The other thing is there's normally, 37. There's normally 42 zombie cards, and you saw it a second ago. Let me shuffle them up. These every time you enter a zone, you're going to pull a zombie card to see what's in that zone. I'm sorry. Nope. If you every time you enter a room, enter a building, you choose a zombie card for each room to see what's in the building. And at the zombie's turn, you draw a zombie card to see what spawns on the board. And that's the spawn point over here. It sounds like a lot of stuff. It'll get a lot easier as you see it. It's like every other kind of board game. Once you've actually played it and seen it played, the rules make a lot of sense after that. But in the beginning level, you only played with 5 cards. It's cards 1, 2, 3, 4, and 41. So you don't have to worry about stuff like the abomination spawning, unless you mess around on this board long enough that you get up into the red level, which you really, really, really should never let happen. Okay, so that's pretty much it. We've got the dice here, we've got the noise markers, I've got the people laid out here so I can see them and all, and we are going to get started.